Alright, people, so I'm doing the finishing and furniture plans of these science and technology building drawings. So I'm just going to cover like the symbols, what different things mean. I'm going to go over like some things the architect probably intended in the building, and kind of just go over how to interpret these drawings. So let's start out, let's start over here. So if you look in here, there's a hatch pattern, and it's like this tile material, and this is what it's referenced to in the drawing is resilient material. That's just basically a vinyl flooring material that it's strong, it's durable, it's plastic, so it's going to last a long time, and it doesn't decay or fall apart. This is important because the STC is a science building, which means there's a lot of labs. So if we go to the main floor, actually it's going to be this one. You can see that there's like the soils lab, the forage lab, and other things, and there's going to be like chemicals, there's going to be dirt, and these ones there's going to be food, and that material is just good for that purpose of being resilient and being pretty non-reactive, if that's a correct word. Then you got like this hatch pattern, and this is just calling out like the flooring material, which is like a vinyl tile, and the way you can not a vinyl tile, sorry, a ceramic tile, and that's called out more of in the lab, like the lab plans. Labs have certain requirements, and like food prep areas, they're non-slip, they're pretty, they're safe, and they're ideal for like cooking food. And in here, there's going to be like lots of equipment and things that are making mess. There's going to be a dishwashing room. There's going to be water on the floor, and that's just all these things meant to protect you against slipping. If we look right here, there's these three boxes. They indicate the materials of the room. So this one right here, this left one, calls out the wall material for this specific room, like whether that's paint or a panel or tile or whatever it is, and it's just calling that out. The center one calls out the flooring material, so QT1. That if we were to look into the accessories or the specifications, that's how it would be referenced. And then QB1 is referencing the base material. And that's kind of what that is. So left, wall, center, floor, third, right is base. Then you look right here, these are the keynotes. If you they're referenced up here, like that one was number 4, and if you just look up here, you know what that means. C drawing for SS finishes is just like looking for specific things that usually only occur once, that aren't super specific. There's some other symbols in here. If we look right here, this is a threshold, right? You have thresholds every so often here. And that's a threshold is used not just to separate spaces like between doors, because like see there's no thresholds in here because this material is the same, but where the threshold transitions between two different materials, there has to be a break, and the threshold provides that break. So right here, they each have a symbol. This one has a half circle with the bottom filled. That's a vinyl material. This one with this diamond shape, that's a marble material. This one over here, actually no, we're going to have to go to a lower floor. Let's go right here. These circles right here, this is outside, this is inside, this is an aluminum material. And the reason this is aluminum, like thinking architecturally, thinking about space and how people are going to use it, when people come into a space, Idaho's cold, right? So there's going to be hot air in here, cold air in here, cold air is going to be transferring. There's like a lot of different weather, pressure, vestibule acts as a transition, and by extension, the thresholds for those spaces need to suit that environment. So you couldn't use a marble one here because due to the weather, it would crack. If you used vinyl, vinyl expands and contracts based off the weather, and it would crack. So aluminum, it dissipates heat quickly. It's a good way to transition between outside and in, and it's more water resistant. So if like you go into most outside walls, a lot of the time, the sill and the different window components are made out of aluminum or steel. And that's just because they're resilient to weather. And you can, and then going further than that, marble material is strong, and if there's a lot of foot traffic going somewhere, that's a good material. that wouldn't be a good material for, you know, like, so I mean, it'd be a waste if you did it in this. Like, this is a tool room. Not many people are going to be coming in here, so might as well just use a lower quality vinyl one. Like, these are small rooms that aren't used a lot, so there's going to be vinyl. But like a lot custodial office, there's a lot of foot traffic, or, you know, various rooms. That's kind of the thinking, you know. So then you have these symbols right here, slope. So this is, like I said, this is a lab, which means there's wet, there's dry, there's things, there's chemicals, and those all have to go somewhere when there's spills or, like, you know, inevitably, and you need a way to get that out, you know, dispose of it. And, you know, you could clean it up and stuff, but that's not very efficient, it's dangerous. So the best way to do that is probably just to put a floor drain in right here. So like, this is a long floor drain, this one right here, and the floor is sloping from, you know, this way and this way, and you can see where the floor contours. These dashed lines indicate the contours of how the floor slopes inward, and so, you know, you can see this is a 2% slope. Come over here, you can see this is another floor drain, like a floor drain symbol, and, you know, there's just various hatches. This is like indication of this is like a indication of cement, like a paving material, concrete, you know. And like the bathrooms, these drawings are primarily just for that purpose of calling out materials of how to, like, finish walls, finish floors, and such like that. And details. So this is a detail section. I'm sure, you know, all of you know that, but this is just going to call out how, like, the walls and floor join and that specific wall section or such. Now let's go to the furniture plans. And the furniture plans isn't just furniture, it's FF&E, which stands for furniture, furnishings, fixtures, and equipment. So with that, so, you know, these are just general furniture, you know, furniture. These are tables with seating, tables with ceilings, you know, come out and study in these lounge areas. You know how there's this, like, big open area. But the architect wants to specify these are special, like in here. This is, again, the kitchen area, like the food science kitchen. So you're probably going to need to refer to the lab drawings a lot in this, which is down here. But the lab they're special. So if we look right here, if you've been to the STC, you know that these are stand-up fridges. They're very large fridges. These are gas ovens. These are prep tables, and these are just these are ovens, and these are materials specific to the lab areas. And you're not going to find those in any other way. In the like, they have very specific instructions. Like I said, like the labs are on a different set of rules than just architectural. The labs have their own mandates and requirements, like a 4-compartment sink for, like, washing dishes, and they have to apply to those codes and adhere to those. You can see up here, there's very specific things. You're not going to know what all these symbols mean, but you can see, you know, this is a gas stove, you know, and there's going to be gas hookups. In here, it also specifies, like, equipment such as, so here's like a sink, you know, just one of those little lab sinks that you wash your hands after touching chemicals or preparing raw meat or something like that. Then you also have, you know, this is a shower, so if you get chemicals on you, you pull on the lever and you just get doused in water. And that's very specific. Like the STC is unique in that furnishing, you know, aspect. And then if you look right here, FE, that's fire extinguisher requirements. And, like, you know, every building has to have, you know, those kind of fire things, but this is a lab, so it's going to have a lot more of those precautions in place to prevent, you know, fire or chemical problems. And these are just tables and things like that. But this is more intuitive. Like, you know, you can guess what these are. You know, these are tables and desks, but it's not, like, super comprehensive as, you know, these finishing plans, as there's like 1, 2, 3, there's like 11 of them, calling out very specific materials. Like, you know, this blue, that's a very specific meaning in the drawing. It's blue. If you come up here, it means carpet. Like, it's not just that, it's a specific type of carpet. C3. So if you come down here to these drawings, Just think like the architect. There's not a super good way to represent that, but the architect's just trying to find the simplest way to. Shoot! Come on, work for me here. Okay, let's try that again. There we go. So here's that carpet material. So like if you just wanted to come and look, so you just come down to, I like this one. No, this one. So if you come down here, like if this is like the commons and lounge area where people can come and study. This is a carpeted area. There's the atrium above, and it's just kind of more of an aesthetics thing. Here's like this stonework material, and that's called out here, so that's a ST1. Come down here to your accessories. ST1 is going to be right there, stone tile. And that's kind of how you can read it and interpret it. But yeah, so that's important things you need to consider, like thresholds. What the architect's kind of going on with that, like why is the floor sloped? It's because this is a lab. That's not going to be the case in most buildings. Why are these different colors? Like most of a lab isn't going to be, like a lab building isn't going to be in this, so you can see that there's a very limited amount of carpet area. That's intentional, and like the foot traffic, like labs, those are all corrugated, and all the carpets are corrugated to keep them away from each other so you don't damage it. But yeah.